Hello, our viewers on YouTube. Welcome to today's episode, 225. We're doing a Osterkamp girl takeover. Whoop, whoop, woo! So today we're going to just talk about some things, laugh a little bit, have some fun, and we're happy you're all here watching us. So let's get started. Y'all ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gather around, everybody. It's time for a family meeting. The Family Meeting is a show that's all about family relationships.
We're the Osterkamps. I'm Thomas, and this is my wife, Lysandra.
Hello, and welcome to our family.
Welcome to episode 225 of the Family Meeting podcast. On today's episode, we have a very special episode for you because we're hosting
Hello.
the girls.
We know we're your favorite.
On today's episode, we're going to discuss words every parent should say to their children. We're going to give you our unique perspective and share things that our parents have said to us that have really helped us through our lives.
And before we get started today, let's discuss our Christmas vacation that we just went on and everybody's favorite part about it.
That was a really nice trip, guys, wasn't it?
It was so great.
It was good.
Yeah, my favorite part was probably being in the hot tub when there was like flurries of snow, because we do not get snow down here, obviously, in Florida.
That was so pretty. I loved that part too. One of my favorite parts was probably all the different meals we had. That was definitely one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, that was really fun. All of us girls got to pick out different meals that we wanted to have on the trip. We went grocery shopping, bought all the stuff, and then each of us got to make it with Mom. Well, if you chose that. Some of us did, some of us didn't. Isabella?
I'll be here for eating it.
So why don't we share with them what meals we all picked?
I picked, oh my gosh, what is it called? Tachos, which is nachos but with tater tots.
Which
instead
is
of
like,
chips.
It's like really good, guys. You should totally try it. Tater tots with all your nacho fixings on top. Really good.
Yeah.
And then I picked pad thai, and so we found a recipe, and me and Mom made it together. It was really fun.
Yep, and then for my meal, I chose chicken Alfredo, and I even got to, like, cut up the raw chicken, which is, like, gross, but also weirdly satisfying. So, like, I don't know. And then just you make it up, and it was fun. Really fun.
Isabella?
Yeah, I picked stroganoff. It was really good. I finally got to have noodles with it because Mom likes rice, so that was good.
Rice is better.
Rice is
Rice
way
is
better.
so much better.
No.
Yeah, rice is better.
Okay.
But there was one meal on the trip that not everybody liked. It was Dad's meal, and to quote Mom, let's get this meal over with.
Obviously, it was the first meal that we had.
Yep.
Yeah, it's called cheese beans. It was...
I was actually scared to try this.
It's literally just canned green beans with Velveeta cheese.
Don't
and
forget the milk. Yeah.
And it has the most horrible texture that you could ever put in your mouth.
Listen, guys, it was not that bad. It was actually, like, super good.
Okay, but when you chew it, it tastes like vomit.
You don't chew
In
it.
your mouth.
You, like, squish
like
it.
not taste, the consistency.
No, you squish it a couple times, and then you swallow. You're not meant to chew it.
Why would you just squish it?
That is nasty.
It's super good. You get, like, all that cheesy, good, rich flavors, and...
Well, he also made min, which is basically like sloppy joes, and that was good. I could
That
eat
was so
makes
good.
really good manwich.
Yeah.
Yep. So, speaking of terrible meals, you guys don't know what you're talking about. What are some other terrible meals that we have had through the decades?
Well, back when we were all younger and us three girls were going to private school, Mom made us these lunches, and she was on this real healthy phase for us when we were younger and didn't want us to eat carbs. So she was like making these celery it's like called ants on a log. I think everyone knows what that is, but if you don't, it's a celery with peanut butter, and then she put like chocolate chips on top or raisins, but none of us ever ate that because it was really gross. Ate that, whatever. And we would just eat the chocolate chips on the top of it. And if there was raisins on it, we just wouldn't eat any of it. So
No, because who likes celery? Like,
No
celery
one.
is disgusting.
No one.
No one likes
And
that.
It's gross and
only Mom
stringy.
does. Only Mom does in our house. I also really hated the peanut butter, which wasn't great, so I just ate the chocolate chips.
It just made it really dry, guys.
Yeah, so you always hoped that, like, in your lunch, you got the pickle ham wraps.
Which
and
was
Yes.
the good meal instead of the ants on a log. But the thing was, with the ants on a log, you couldn't just, like, not eat it, because then Mom would be like, why didn't you eat this? I made this for you. Why did you not eat it? And then you would have to be like,
It was.
I was
nasty.
full. I always said that I was just full.
No, but she said we were supposed to eat our big like lunch thing before our other snack foods in there. So you couldn't just do that because your other stuff would be gone.
then Abigail told us what she did that always...
Yeah, before she checks in your lunchbox, you either throw it away at the place or you throw it away at home.
So she, like, totally...
But you gotta hide it in the trash. Move the trash around.
cheated the
and hide
system. Yep.
it. Yeah.
You know how much money you probably wasted throwing all that away?
It's not very much because you guys ate yours. 1 out of 3.
Yeah, she didn't let us in on her little scheme.
Yeah.
So we all had to suffer. Any other terrible meals that we want to talk about?
Well, this one time, Mom made us what we like to call fishy pancakes.
Those are bad.
So she made the very bad decision to take gluten-free, what was it, like sugar-free,
Yeah, expired.
expired pancake mix from someone at church.
She took it. So it's not even like she bought it. She took it from them. But still, like, why would you take that?
Yeah, so she's making it for us because we got pancakes just like usually only on Fridays because again Mom was on her health kick with the carbs, so she was making it for us, and it had like holes in it, like the batter was separating into holes inside the pancake, and so of course it was suspicious from the beginning, but we decided, okay, let's try it. This is our one shot at pancakes. And it just tasted like, as you could probably guess, fish. And it was so bad that Mom didn't eat it. Mom was like, throw it away. And that's when we were, broke, very broke.
I remember when we were actually eating it and we were like, this is really gross, Mom. You have to try it. It's really gross. And she's like, no, girls, you're just over-exaggerating. It's fine, see? And then she's like, oh, my gosh, throw it away.
I remember that.
I remember that too.
Okay, but in her defense, usually all her pancakes were absolutely amazing. She
Yes.
has a great recipe for them.
Mm-hmm.
If
Yeah.
you want to, like,
She stopped
be like,
taking
hey,
them.
what's your recipe?
She
It's
stopped
super
taking,
good.
stopped taking them from people at church.
Yeah. After that,
Definitely.
we're like, yeah, no more church.
Let that be your warning that you never take suspicious pancakes from someone at church.
Always check if they are gluten-free, sugar-free, and expired.
Which should be things you already checked, but if not, then here's a reminder.
Okay, so how about we all introduce ourselves, because I don't know if everyone knows us. So let's go oldest to youngest.
Hello, I'm Catherine, the oldest. I'm 19, and I would hope you already know my voice since I'm the best one. So,
Nuh-uh.
gosh.
No, I am.
Okay, that's a lie, but next.
I'm Isabella and I'm 17.
I'm Abigail and I'm 16.
And I'm Violet, and I am 14. Had to think about that.
Okay, now that we've got all that good, fun stuff started, let's go into our discussion. There's a lot of information in the Bible about the things that we're going to say. Here's one of my favorites. It's Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. So let's kind of unpack that verse, see what it means. Girls, what do you think?
Well, I think that death and life in the power of the tongue means like your words can either build somebody up or tear somebody down with what you say. And obviously you need to be saying good things because we don't want to tear people down. We want to build them up.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to share?
I feel like a lot of people, it just like Abigail said, it can, like words that are hurtful, or even if you say it in a rude tone, it can bring people down. It can make them sad and, not like themselves or something like that.
I would agree. Tone is really important, and a lot of people don't understand that. Our mom was always really big on our tone of voice when we were talking to, like, not only her and Dad, but also to each other. It was always like, watch your tone, like, be mindful of that, because just that can hurt someone's feelings.
Yep.
Okay.
I like this one, Ephesians 4:29. Let no corrupt talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear.
So this verse is really good because building up is obviously good. Like, we don't want to break people down in what we say. So can we think of a time that someone maybe has built us up with their words?
Well, I know that I have a lot, like, I feel like, I'm sorry. I'm sounding like an idiot right now. But I feel like a lot of times I have doubts in my singing when I'm singing in worship. But a lot of you girls and even mom and dad say that I have a good singing voice and that it sounds good every Sunday. And those words build me up, and it helps me remember that I do have a good singing voice that God gave me and that I can be thankful for it and everything.
Yeah, you do sound really nice when you sing.
Thank you.
Yeah. I also feel like in this verse, when it talks about grace, I feel like we should also be giving grace to people who may not know that their tone is, I guess, rude. You know, sometimes, like, if they're having a bad day or whatever, don't, like, hold it against them, I feel like, you know?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times that's hard for me to remember, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, why did you say that? But I feel like this is a good reminder that we also need to have grace, too.
Yeah, and I feel like as fits the occasion, it can mean like small occasions, like just small things that we say every day that can help build someone up, like you're doing a good job, or, you know, just saying thank you. I think that can build people up as well.
Right,
Yeah.
which we'll get into all of that in today's episode. But good answers, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks.
A+.
I'm pretty good at answers.
Okay, I'm going to start off with one of the most important things. Your children need to hear you say to them, I know this seems super obvious, but I love you. Unconditional love gives your children emotional security.
Yeah.
So why do you guys think it's so important to hear the words, I love you?
Well, I feel like a lot of times every kid can have doubts maybe about their parents loving them and stuff, because, you know, sometimes the parents get mad and maybe have a harsher tone, or I don't know, even yell. And every once in a while when your parents say, or not every once in a while, but when your parent says I love you, it just kind of reassures you that you're still loved and that they still care about you. And, you know, maybe the reason why they had a harsh tone was because they're trying to teach you something.
Yeah, they're trying, like, parents should remind their kids, of their love,
And I feel like it's not okay if you're like, oh, we're just one of those family who don't say I love you, like we know it. Okay, well, maybe they know it, but they're going to be like, oh, like hearing it can help reinforce the idea.
Exactly.
Like there should also be actions behind it, but they need to hear the words, I love you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because, like, even if you're, like, a really tight-knit family and you all know you love each other, you can still, like, doubt that sometimes. Like, personally, me, I would sometimes get, like, not great grades on my tests and whatnot, and I would always be nervous to, like, talk to my mom or dad about it, just because I'm like, is this going to make them love me less? Like, I didn't do a great job on this, but then they would, like, say things that would make me feel better and just say, like, we love you no matter what, it doesn't really matter, and that would always kind of, like, make me feel better and definitely more secure.
Yeah.
Which really kind of ties in with the next one, which is really important to say, is I'm proud of you. Hearing I'm proud of you reassures children that their efforts and growth are recognized and valued. Girls, how do you feel when mom and dad tell you that they're proud of you?
I'm going to start again. I feel like when they say it to me, I really care about if they say if they're proud of me, because I want to make them proud. And when they say it, I feel loved, and I feel very happy when they say it.
Yeah. Like what you're doing is actually working, or, I don't know, good.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's kind of like nice to just hear that affirmation, because that's really what we're all shooting for, whether we know it or not. We want to hear our parents say, like, I'm proud of you, we're proud to be associated with you, and kind of like take ownership of you in that way.
Yeah, that's really great. Mm-hmm. The next one that I think all kids should hear from their parents is I'm sorry, because it's really good to hear that because it knows that the parents, if they did something wrong, that they actually care enough to say I'm sorry and that they recognize that they hurt you or that, it wasn't the best thing to say or the best tone or whatever,
Yeah. I think I like it because it shows that they're not just trying to be all high and mighty above you and telling you everything what you need to do. Mm-hmm. They're trying to say, like, I make mistakes too and I'm sorry for what I did. And I feel like everyone needs to hear that.
That's really good.
And tell people sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like if the parents say sorry when they do make mistakes, then it's easier for the children to say I'm sorry when they do something wrong against others or against their parents.
Exactly, they're showing a good example. Their parents are setting a good example.
Okay, I've got a really good story about saying sorry. So, just like a couple weeks ago, we were shopping at Aldi. Me and my mom and the girls were all running around getting stuff. She told me to go get something, so I went, I got it. I was bringing it back to the cart, walking up behind her, and she literally, turns right at that moment and elbows me right in the nose super hard, full force, didn't even know I was there, and I was just like, oh, wow, ow.
Yeah.
She turned to me right away and she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, are you okay? And she said it over and over again. I mean, it was I knew she was sorry, but she was also laughing, so I was kind of like, you really sorry?
You can be sorry.
I find this really funny.
You can be sorry, but also think something's funny, I feel like.
Yeah, which I know she was really sorry. It was just, so hilarious that she did that right as I was walking by.
Yeah.
You never sneak up behind. You gotta go to the front.
Yep, that's definitely true. Learned my lesson there.
I think this is a really good one. I'm so glad you're my child. Why do you girls think this is good to hear?
Well, I mean, everybody wants to know if, they want you as their child. They're not oh my gosh, why can't I just get stuck with another kid? I feel like it's good reassurance to be okay, yeah, I'm loved and I'm wanted here.
Yeah. Every child wants to know that they're wanted and that they are loved. And I feel like this phrase can really help children to, feel that.
Yeah, I think it helps with the same taking ownership of them. It's what you're really shooting for. So, and I mean, kids doubt that when you get upset with them, whether or not you mean anything by it. They can just think the worst right away because their minds just work like that.
Yep.
So hearing those things after a fight or whatever really just kind of cements the relationship.
Yeah, that's good.
Mom has actually said this one to us a lot over the years. It's okay to make mistakes. She used to say this when we'd spill something or make a big mess. She would say, it's okay to make a mess as long as you clean it up, or everyone makes mistakes, it's not a big deal, don't worry about it. Whenever we would make mistakes. So, can you think of a time that you made a mistake and Mom kind of said this thing or paraphrased or, whatever?
I would probably say when I would do the best in school or something, and she would just be it's okay, I don't have to get perfect grades to make her proud of me. I just gotta try my best. And it's okay if you make mistakes through there. And plus, when you're way younger, your grades don't really count on the whatever it is, the college
portfolio or something.
Yeah.
I don't know the
Until
college.
you get to high school, so I mean, when you're younger, you don't have to worry too hard.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember one time I was making coffee. I don't remember when, but I was making it in a glass cup, and I went to turn around, and it had a lid, and the lid popped off, so I dropped it, and it shattered everywhere.
Oh
so
my gosh!
Coffee all over the floor and mixed with glass, and Mom was just it's okay. I probably dropped more cups than you, and then I cleaned it up and everything, so that was good.
Yeah. Coconut also helped you lick up the coffee.
Yeah, he loves coffee.
Yeah, and something to keep in mind is that if you don't make mistakes, you can't grow. So if your child is too afraid to try anything because they're afraid they're going to make a mistake, and then your reaction because of that mistake, they're not going to try, and then they're going to just stay where they are their entire life. And it can cause real problems in the future. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I feel like it also means a lot to me when parents, my parents say, I hear you. Because when life happens and sometimes they're always telling you what to do or whatever, I like it when I'm heard and they're listening to my thoughts and feelings, and sometimes they don't try to fix it. They're just like hearing me out and being like, oh yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, kind of like a venting kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, because a lot of times it's like you don't really want someone to fix it for you. You just want someone to listen to you when you're just kind of going through stuff. It's nice to have a voice.
Yeah, and that can make you feel better.
Yeah, and I feel like there's so many of us in our household. There's 6 of us, and we all want the attention of our parents, obviously, or I guess 4 daughters, but we all want the attention, and so it's really nice to hear, like, have our parents be like, I hear you, yeah, and like just have that one-on-one conversation with them, no matter what it is.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Ooh, I've got a good one, okay? Everybody, listen up. Pay
Okay.
really close attention to this one.
Okay.
Super important. So, here it is. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
ready.
I'm ready.
Still it.
Tell us already.
Here's some money.
Oh, one of my
I
favorites.
love
good
that
one.
one.
We don't often hear this at our house, but
No.
it would be really nice for your kids if you were just like, you know what? You're such a great kid. Here's some money.
You know,
Go
every
buy
once in a
yourself something nice.
Every
Mom,
once in a while,
Dad?
here's a 20, have some fun.
Here's $100 bill.
Hint,
yeah.
hint.
Oh my gosh, they probably won't do that, but Mom and Dad, this is a sign to maybe give us some more money.
You did such a great job on the podcast. Here, have some money. Take
Here's a
my credit
reward.
card. Go buy something nice.
Yeah,
Oh my
so
gosh.
just putting that one out there. Something to think about.
I'm sure your kids would like you a lot more if you did.
Yep. You'd be the favorite parent immediately.
Well, as I was mentioning earlier with school, this next one is a good one. Just do your best. And she would say that again when I was doing school, or when any of us did school. Like,
Yep.
you don't always have to get A's or A pluses. You just have to try your best. And if you actually do try your best, she's going to be happy with whatever you get. Or they're both of them are going to be happy with whatever you get.
Both mom and dad say this to us a lot because I didn't get the best grades this semester. Okay, we got some B's and C's. I mean, that's not horrible. It's not failing, so whatever. And I just felt really bad about it when I first figured out that I got those grades. And mom and dad were both there, and they were like, it's okay as long as you did your best, And that just made me feel a lot better. And also, they said that it doesn't really matter what your grades are in middle school. Just high school is what it matters.
Yeah, which hearing that it relieves some of that pressure, because most kids are going to put a lot of pressure on themselves to do a good job for their parents. A lot of times they may not care about it, but they want their parents to, again, say, I'm proud of you, like, you did a good job, all this stuff. So relieve some of the pressure off your kids, guys. It's
Yeah.
nice.
And everyone has like different strengths and different things that they're good at. So they might not be very good at math, and so they might get a C in that. And that's okay, because that's how they are in that subject, and that's all right. You don't have to be perfect at everything.
Yeah, that's really good.
Another good one is I believe in you. So a lot of times kids don't really believe in themselves, especially if they're trying something new. They don't think they can do it. And so hearing someone else say, I believe in you, or I think you can do it, or I know you can do it, really helps them be like, okay, then maybe I can give it a try because this person believes in me.
Yeah, that's really good.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Also, I really like to hear, I think all of us do like to hear, and that all kids should hear, is thank you from your parents. Because when my parents say thank you to me, I know that they recognize what I did for them. And it makes me feel very happy inside, and especially when they mean it and stuff. And I feel like if you don't say thank you, your kid will stop doing stuff for you and stop helping you with things, because if you don't acknowledge what they're doing, then they're obviously not going to want to do it.
Yeah, and this one kind of goes along with that. Hand in hand is good job. So, like, your kid may not be, like, going to work and paying rent and buying groceries, but they're doing their own things the best that they can, and they're still kind of like helping out in different areas. Like I know all of us, we do chores around the house all the time and dishes and whatnot. And being appreciated when you do that kind of stuff is really nice. It makes you want to do them more, like Violet said, and just kind of reaffirms good behavior. So make sure you're doing that.
Yeah, and like think if you had a friend who was always just like, hey, go do this, get this for me, do that, clean up your room, and they never said thank you. They were just like, do this, do this, do this. You wouldn't like them very much. You wouldn't want to be around them. And it's the same thing with your kids.
Yeah, that's really good.
That's really good, yeah.
Yeah, so showing appreciation for their efforts, or for just being themselves, and makes them feel valued. Why do you think that's so important, girls? We kind of touched on this, but any other thoughts?
Not really. That I can think of right now.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Well, one that's really good is, I can't see it. It's going to be okay. This one helps me a lot when I'm worried. You guys?
Definitely. Sometimes when I get like really worked up about something, or it feels like life is going like 100 miles an hour, it's nice to just have someone say like, it's gonna be okay. Like, you don't gotta worry about it too much. Everything's gonna be fine. Just take a breath, you know?
Yeah.
So you can calm down.
It also kind of makes you feel like they're there with you in it, and so you don't have to be alone in that situation.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes when you're anxious or whatever, it like immediately calms you down when someone's like, it's gonna be okay. You're just like, oh, like somehow you believe it when someone says that. And I actually do have a story. When I first started teaching in our church in Kids Cove, which is like the children's ministry, it was a pretty rough day of teaching, and I felt like I did a horrible job, and like I wasn't having any confidence in myself. And then when we were unloading the car and coming back inside, my dad just hugged me and was like, it's gonna be okay. And he helped me know that
Aww.
I can get through it and stuff. So
That's nice.
good dad moment.
And I feel that one that goes like right with that one is I'm here for you. So, you know, that your kids know that like if something goes wrong, if they're having a hard day, if they feel upset, you're going to be there for them and you're going to help them with that.
Because no one wants to face trials and like different situations all by themselves, and that's really hard to do all by yourself. But even knowing that your parents are there for you really helps you.
Definitely. And I think not really necessarily like jumping in and taking over, because they want to do it themselves. They want to know how to do it themselves. But they also want to know that if they mess up or they're not sure how to go from there, that they can go to you. And you want them to be able to go to you.
Yeah,
So,
that's good.
Yep. Our next one is I trust you.
That's
So,
a good one. Yeah.
Any stories, guys?
I mean, I don't have a story, but I feel like this is definitely a good one to say, because everyone wants to be trusted and like have that freedom. And if your parents trust you, you're going to be able to do more things and, you know, experience more things alone or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And you won't always have to have them right by your side.
And I feel like, I know we've probably said this in the past on another podcast that we took over, but kids, you want your parents, you want the freedom and you want your parents to trust you, so don't break that trust. Don't sneak out at night when they tell you this is your bedtime, you know? I don't know. There are some pretty weird things that people could do. I don't know. But just try and keep their trust, you know, if they give it to you.
Yep.
And then here's a different one, okay? It might sound very similar, but they're very different. It's we're trusting you. Do you see how I even said that different?
Yeah.
Okay, that's because this is a threat. You better look out, because this means I actually am kind of on the fence about trusting you, so you better not mess up.
Or
Okay?
else.
Listen to the tone, guys.
Because here's the thing, it's like, oh, I trust you, and it's like, we're trusting you.
So you better watch out.
Yeah. I remember
pressure
this
is
one
all on.
time, Catherine was gone for whatever reason, I don't remember, and the mom and dad were leaving, so I was gonna be in charge. And 3 or 4 times, mom was like, I'm trusting you. Guess what? I did not feel trusted. I felt like I had anxiety that whole day until they go back. I'm like, these girls better not do anything crazier, or I am in so much trouble. It's not even my fault. Like, it was horrible. So maybe just don't be like, hey, we're trusting you.
It's basically, guys, that's just saying, like, it's a test, okay? So be extra, extra, extra good.
Look out.
Yep.
Look out.
Do some extra chores that you don't usually do, and make sure all the kids are in bed before bedtime.
Okay, so another one is you can always talk to me. How does that make you guys feel if your parents say that?
I feel like they're very approachable. If you have a struggle or something, that you can come to them for whatever it is, even if it's a hard subject. If you say that to them, then they'll definitely feel more open to telling you things. But if you don't recognize that they can come and talk to you and shut yourself off from them, then obviously they're not going to come to your problems. They're going to try and fix it by themselves.
Yeah, and don't say like, oh, you can always talk to me, and then they're like, hey, can I talk to you? And you're like, yeah, I just have to do this, and this, and then we can go ahead and chat, and then you forget. So don't make it a lie, even if you're not trying to. Don't make it a lie, because then they won't believe you.
Yeah, and try not to overreact when they do talk to you.
Yeah.
Because then they're not going to talk to you anymore.
They ain't coming back.
Nope.
Yeah.
And you can tell in the eyes too. Make sure you hide your eyes. If your eyes get wide and big, they can still tell even though you're not saying anything.
Mom likes to like just raise her eyebrows up really, like she'll try and have that smile on her face, like, ooh, yay. But her eyebrows will be so high up, it's almost in her hairline. So that's the tell. That's the tell.
And it's not necessarily even like a bad thing. It'll be like she's just so excited, but she doesn't want to react that way.
Yeah.
So her eyebrows do the reacting for her.
Practice your poker face before you're like, oh, anytime you guys want to talk to me, just make sure you're prepared.
Yeah. And I feel like our parents are really good about being open with us and letting us be able to talk to them like with whatever we need.
Our next one is, how are you feeling right now?
Oh my.
How does this guy make you guys feel when they say this?
It's interesting because most of the time when mom or dad will ask me this, I'll literally think in my head like, how do I feel right now? What
I
is
feel
going
like that's
on?
true. It makes you ponder and think.
Yeah.
But it also like shows me like they care about how I'm feeling, and they're also paying attention to the way my face and body language are.
Yeah.
So they're looking at me, knowing something isn't right, and then asking about it instead of just being like, she'll figure it out.
And
she'll be fine.
Even if your kid doesn't actually tell you what's wrong, at least they have that satisfaction of knowing that you are here for them. You notice that they're hurting or they're sad, and you're there for them.
Any other thoughts, guys?
No.
Well, that was our last one.
It was?
Yep.
All right, well, here is your family meeting idea for this week. Have a family meeting tonight and take a moment to tell your kids the phrases that you might have been neglecting to tell them. Maybe you haven't said I'm proud of you in a long time, or you're one of those families who's like, oh, we don't say I love you. Tell them you love them today. Maybe it's been a long time since you said I'm sorry, since you've admitted that you have made a mistake, and everyone makes mistakes, so that's all right. Just whatever you haven't said to your children for a while, say it to them in this week's family meeting.
Thanks for joining us today. Please go and subscribe to the Family Meeting Podcast from your favorite podcast provider. And if you have found this information helpful, please share this episode on social media and invite your friends and family to listen with you.
To find more content and information Mom and Dad provide, you can go to our website, familymeeting.org, or email us at info@familymeeting.org if you'd like to shoot us a text or a call. You can send us a voice message at 904-257-3062.
Nailed it.
Why did I get all the one with the information and the contacting?
You can blame Mom for that.
We want to invite you to join us for our next family meeting as Mom and Dad talk about a new season our family has entered into. Mom's least favorite stage so far. It's not the empty nest stage, but it's leading to that. And they're calling it the fledgling stage of parenting, and it makes Mom cry a lot, so they'll share how they're getting through it so far.
Thanks for joining us today for this family meeting. Have a great week, everybody. This meeting is adjourned.
Yay!